In the vast expanse of the cosmos, humanity has always sought answers to life's greatest mysteries. But what happens when we discover a world where light is not a giver of life, but its destroyer? Imagine creatures born from shadows, existing in perpetual darkness, their existence defying everything we know about biology and survival. This is a story of discovery, fear, and connection, a tale that will challenge your understanding of life itself. What secrets do these shadow-bound beings hold? And how far would you go to uncover them? Stay until the end to witness an encounter that could change our place in the universe forever. Don't forget to subscribe for more mind-bending journeys into the unknown. The starship, Ecliptica, drifted silently through the void, its sleek metallic frame glinting faintly under the dim light of a dying sun. On board, the crew buzzed with anticipation as they approached an uncharted planet orbiting at the edge of a distant galaxy. The mission was simple yet profound: explore, document, and return with knowledge. Yet none aboard could have anticipated the enigma awaiting them on this alien world. The planet loomed ahead now, shrouded in swirling clouds of ash and dust, its surface obscured by layers of perpetual twilight. It seemed almost alive, pulsating with an energy neither detectable nor explainable by conventional science. As the ship descended, instruments faltered, readings fluctuated wildly, and even artificial intelligence systems struggled to maintain coherence. Something about this place resisted scrutiny, as though it wished to remain hidden. The crew exchanged uneasy glances, their excitement tinged with apprehension. Captain Elena Voss stood at the helm, her sharp eyes scanning the monitors for any sign of stability. She had led countless missions before, but this one felt different, charged with an air of unpredictability. The planet's atmosphere appeared toxic on initial scans, yet traces of organic compounds hinted at the possibility of life. Could it be true? Life thriving in such an inhospitable environment? Her thoughts raced as she gave the order to prepare for landing. Outside, the blackened horizon stretched endlessly, broken only by jagged mountains that pierced the gloomy sky. The descent was smooth but unnerving, the ship's engines humming louder than usual, as if protesting the descent into this strange realm. Touchdown came without fanfare. The landing gear crunched softly against rocky terrain, kicking up plumes of fine black sand that shimmered like powdered glass. Outside, the air, or whatever passed for atmosphere here, was thick and heavy, carrying a strange static charge that prickled exposed skin. The first team stepped out cautiously, clad in protective suits designed to withstand extreme conditions. Their helmet lights cut sharp beams through the gloom, revealing jagged cliffs and deep fissures carved into the landscape. Shadows danced unnaturally, shifting faster than logic allowed, as if reacting to their presence. One scientist paused, tilting her headlamp downward, and noticed something peculiar. Wherever the light touched, the ground appeared scorched, barren. But just beyond the reach of illumination, life stirred, delicate tendrils unfurling tentatively, retreating when caught in the glare. A hypothesis formed then, fragile yet tantalizing. Perhaps this world harbored organisms adapted to survive only in shadow. Dr. Marcus Hale, the lead xenobiologist, knelt beside the tendrils, his gloved fingers brushing lightly over the alien vegetation. He marveled at their resilience, noting how they seemed to pulse faintly, almost rhythmically, as if breathing. His instruments recorded data furiously, capturing every detail of their structure and behavior. Meanwhile, other members of the team spread out, mapping the area and collecting samples. Each step revealed new wonders: pools of liquid crystal reflecting distorted images, clusters of bioluminescent fungi glowing faintly in the dark, and strange formations resembling coral reefs that shifted subtly when observed. The more they explored, the clearer it became that this planet was unlike anything humanity had ever encountered, a place where darkness nurtured life rather than extinguishing it. Back inside the ship, data streamed across monitors, painting a picture both fascinating and unsettling. Thermal imaging revealed patterns too intricate to be random, an entire ecosystem thriving in the absence of direct light. Microscopic analysis confirmed the existence of cellular structures unlike anything seen before, capable of photosynthesis using ambient radiation rather than sunlight. These findings sparked debates among the crew, each member grappling with implications too vast to comprehend. Was this truly a new form of life, or merely an anomaly? Could such creatures coexist peacefully with humans, or did their very nature pose a threat? Questions multiplied faster than answers, fueling a mix of excitement and unease. Meanwhile, outside, the shadows lengthened as the planet rotated away from its meager star. Darkness blanketed the land, and with it came movement, subtle at first, then increasingly bold. Shapes emerged from crevices, amorphous yet deliberate, drawn toward the stationary vessel like moths to a flame. Only, these were no ordinary moths. Captain Voss watched the footage from the external cameras, her brow furrowed in concentration. The shapes moved with purpose, their forms fluid and ever-changing. Some resembled terrestrial animals, albeit twisted versions adapted to perpetual shade. Others bore no resemblance to earthly life whatsoever, their bodies fluid and malleable, constantly reshaping according to some unseen purpose. Observations suggested a complex social structure, with individuals communicating via vibrations transmitted through the ground. Yet every attempt to interact directly ended in failure. The moment light encroached upon their domain, they vanished, dissolving into nothingness. Frustration mounted, but so did determination. Somewhere within this labyrinth of darkness lay answers, waiting to be uncovered. Days turned into weeks as exploration efforts intensified. Teams ventured further afield, mapping regions rich with biodiversity unseen elsewhere in the known universe. They discovered forests of translucent vines swaying gently despite the lack of wind, their surfaces glowing faintly with bioluminescent hues. Pools of liquid crystal reflected distorted images of the researchers, rippling as though aware of their gaze. Most intriguing were the shadow dwellers themselves, creatures ranging from microscopic entities to towering forms that defied classification. Some resembled terrestrial animals, albeit twisted versions adapted to perpetual shade. Others bore no resemblance to earthly life whatsoever, their bodies fluid and malleable, constantly reshaping according to some unseen purpose. Observations suggested a complex social structure, with individuals communicating via vibrations transmitted through the ground. Yet every attempt to interact directly ended in failure. The moment light encroached upon their domain, they vanished, dissolving into nothingness. Frustration mounted, but so did determination. Somewhere within this labyrinth of darkness lay answers, waiting to be uncovered. The crew began experimenting with new methods of observation, reducing their reliance on artificial light. Specialized lenses and infrared sensors allowed them to study the creatures without disturbing their natural habitat. Slowly, patterns emerged. Certain species gathered near specific landmarks, while others avoided them entirely. Some exhibited behaviors akin to hunting or foraging, while others seemed to engage in rituals or displays. Dr. Hale theorized that these creatures might possess a rudimentary form of intelligence, capable of adapting to their environment and interacting with one another in meaningful ways. If true, it would represent a monumental discovery, one that could redefine humanity's understanding of consciousness and sentience. One fateful expedition changed everything. Venturing deeper than ever before, a small team stumbled upon a cavern system unlike any other. Stalactites hung low, dripping viscous fluid that pooled below, casting eerie reflections across walls adorned with intricate carvings. Symbols etched into stone hinted at intelligence far beyond instinctual behavior. At the heart of the cave lay a massive chamber, its ceiling lost in shadow. Within stood monolithic structures resembling obelisks, arranged in concentric circles around a central dais. Upon closer inspection, the obelisks pulsed rhythmically, emitting low-frequency hums that resonated deep within the explorers' chests. It wasn't until one researcher accidentally cast his flashlight beam onto the dais that chaos erupted. Shadowy figures materialized instantaneously, writhing and contorting as though enraged. Panic ensued as the team scrambled backward, extinguishing lights and plunging the area into pitch blackness. When calm returned, the creatures lingered momentarily, watching intently before melting back into the darkness. That night, sleep eluded everyone aboard, ecliptic a dash. Captain Voss convened an emergency meeting, her voice steady despite the tension in the room. The incident raised critical questions. What had provoked such a reaction? Were the obelisks sacred objects, or did they serve a practical purpose? And most importantly, how could they prevent similar incidents in the future? The team agreed to proceed with caution, prioritizing non-invasive methods of study. Additional safeguards were implemented, including stricter protocols for handling equipment and minimizing exposure to light. Despite the setback, morale remained high. Every mystery solved brought them closer to understanding the shadow dwellers and perhaps finding common ground. Analysis of the incident consumed days. Recordings captured during the retreat provided invaluable insights, showing details missed in the heat of the moment. Notably, the creature's movements weren't random, they exhibited purpose, coordination. Furthermore, spectral scans indicated energy signatures emanating from the obelisks, suggesting advanced technology integrated seamlessly with organic matter. Hypotheses abounded. Were these beings symbiotic constructs, merging machine and flesh? Did the obelisks serve as conduits for communication or power? Each theory raised more questions than it answered, yet one conclusion became clear: they weren't dealing with mere animals. Intelligence implied intent, and intent demanded caution. Plans shifted accordingly. Instead of aggressive probing, the crew adopted a passive approach, observing from afar while attempting to establish trust. Lights were dimmed, equipment modified to minimize interference. Slowly, hesitantly, the shadow dwellers began responding, inching closer during nocturnal hours. Progress remained slow, fraught with setbacks, but hope persisted. Perhaps mutual understanding wasn't impossible after all. The crew started documenting patterns in the creature's behavior, noting how they reacted differently to various stimuli. For instance, low-frequency vibrations seemed to calm them, while abrupt noises caused agitation. This knowledge allowed the researchers to refine their methods further, using controlled sound waves to communicate indirectly. Over time, the shadow dwellers grew bolder, lingering longer within view before retreating into the darkness. It was a delicate dance, one that required patience and precision. Every small victory fueled optimism, reinforcing the belief that coexistence might be achievable. Yet beneath the surface, doubts lingered. What if their efforts were misinterpreted? What if peace proved fleeting? One fateful expedition changed everything. Venturing deeper than ever before, a small team stumbled upon a cavern system unlike any other. Stalactites hung low, dripping viscous fluid that pooled below, casting eerie reflections across walls adorned with intricate carvings. Symbols etched into stone hinted at intelligence far beyond instinctual behavior. At the heart of the cave lay a massive chamber, its ceiling lost in shadow. Within stood monolithic structures resembling obelisks, arranged in concentric circles around a central dais. Upon closer inspection, the obelisks pulsed rhythmically, emitting low-frequency hums that resonated deep within the explorers' chests. It wasn't until one researcher accidentally cast his flashlight beam onto the dais that chaos erupted. Shadowy figures materialized instantaneously, writhing and contorting as though enraged. Panic ensued as the team scrambled backward, extinguishing lights and plunging the area into pitch blackness. When calm returned, the creatures lingered momentarily, watching intently before melting back into the darkness. That night, sleep eluded everyone aboard, ecliptic a dash. This discovery marked a turning point. The obelisks weren't just artifacts. They were alive, pulsating with an energy that defied explanation. Dr. Hale hypothesized that they acted as nodes in a vast network, connecting the shadow dwellers across distances incomprehensible to human minds. If true, this suggested not only intelligence but also a form of collective consciousness, a hive mind operating on principles humanity had yet to grasp. The implications were staggering. Could these beings perceive individuality differently? Did they view the crew as invaders disrupting their unity? Such questions haunted the researchers, driving them to delve deeper into the mystery. Meanwhile, preparations began for a more ambitious experiment, replicating the obelisk's frequencies to initiate contact. Months passed, marked by incremental breakthroughs. Researchers developed tools to interface with the obelisks, decoding fragments of information embedded within their resonant frequencies. Patterns emerged, forming rudimentary messages. Words like balance, harmony, and protection, repeated often, accompanied by warnings against disruption. Gradually, a narrative took shape. Millennia ago, this planet basked in radiant sunlight, teeming with vibrant ecosystems. Then catastrophe struck. A stellar explosion bathed the surface in lethal radiation, forcing survivors underground. Over generations, evolution favored those able to thrive in perpetual shadow, adapting physically and culturally to their new reality. Light became synonymous with death, a concept ingrained deeply into collective consciousness. Understanding this context proved pivotal. Armed with empathy rather than arrogance, the crew adjusted strategies once more, prioritizing respect over experimentation. Trust blossomed slowly, nurtured by patience and restraint. The crew's newfound perspective transformed their interactions. They no longer approached the shadow dwellers as subjects to be studied, but as partners in a shared journey. Rituals were observed silently, gestures mimicked cautiously. In response, The creatures displayed behaviors previously unseen, subtle nods, rhythmic pulses, even what appeared to be playful mimicry. These moments of connection filled the researchers with awe, reminding them of the universality of curiosity and compassion. Yet challenges remained. Misunderstandings still occurred, sometimes resulting in tense standoffs. Each incident served as a reminder of the fragility of trust, underscoring the importance of humility in cross-species relations. Progress was nonlinear, but every step forward felt monumental. As seasons cycled on the alien world, preparations commenced for departure. Supplies dwindled, necessitating return to human space. Reluctance permeated the crew, tempered by pride in accomplishments achieved. Before leaving, however, a final gesture aimed to solidify bonds forged. Utilizing materials scavenged from ecliptic dash, engineers constructed a monument symbolizing unity, a fusion of human ingenuity and shadow dweller artistry. Rising tall beside the obelisk circle, it served as testament to collaboration transcending boundaries. Ceremonies marked the occasion, attended by representatives from both sides. Though devoid of speech, emotions conveyed transcended linguistic limitations. Gratitude flowed freely, underscored by promises of future visits. As engines roared to life, propelling Ecliptica skyward, eyes watched wistfully below. Departure signaled closure, yet anticipation lingered, for what lay ahead promised boundless potential. The monument stood as a beacon of hope, its design incorporating elements from both cultures. Sleek metallic panels reflected faint starlight, while organic tendrils wrapped around its base, glowing softly in the dark. It was a tangible reminder of what could be achieved when two vastly different worlds came together. As the ship ascended, Captain Voss gazed out the viewport, her heart swelling with pride and sadness. Pride for what they had accomplished, sadness for what they left behind. But she knew this wasn't goodbye. It was merely the beginning of something greater. Someday, they would return, armed with knowledge and experience gained from this mission. Until then, the Shadow Dwellers waited, guardians of a hidden universe brimming with possibilities. Journey home brought reflection. Conversations aboard centered less on scientific achievements and more on personal growth spurred by experiences endured. Perspectives shifted profoundly, challenging preconceived notions about identity, belonging, and purpose. Reports filed upon arrival sparked global interest, igniting debates about ethics, responsibility, and humanity's role in a multiverse teeming with possibilities. Governments debated policies governing interstellar diplomacy, while private enterprises eyed lucrative opportunities. Amidst commotion, original crew members advocated vigilance, urging caution lest greed overshadow reason. Lessons learned must guide actions moving forward, they argued passionately. Meanwhile, plans unfolded for subsequent missions, incorporating safeguards ensuring equitable partnerships. Dreams envisioned bridges spanning galaxies, uniting diverse peoples under common aspirations. Reality awaited testing, but hope buoyed spirits high. Upon returning to Earth, the crew found themselves thrust into the spotlight, hailed as pioneers of a new era. Interviews, lectures, and conferences dominated their schedules, each engagement offering a chance to share their story. Yet amidst the accolades, they remained grounded, mindful of the responsibilities that came with their discoveries. Their message was clear: exploration should not come at the expense of exploitation. Respect, empathy, and cooperation must guide humanity's expansion into the cosmos. While public opinion swayed between excitement and skepticism, the crew's resolve never wavered. They had glimpsed the infinite, and nothing would deter them from pursuing it further. Years elapsed before another voyage embarked, laden with enhanced technologies and refined protocols. Arrival reignited joyous reunions, reaffirming ties strengthened over distance. Together, teams delved deeper into mysteries unsolved, unraveling threads leading toward greater truths. Discoveries accumulated rapidly, revolutionizing fields spanning astrophysics to anthropology. Medical breakthroughs stemmed from studying shadow dweller physiology, offering cures previously deemed miraculous. Environmental solutions emerged inspired by sustainable practices observed firsthand. Cultural exchanges flourished, fostering appreciation for diversity celebrated universally. Yet challenges persisted, reminders of fragility inherent in cross-species relations. Missteps occasionally strained alliances, requiring apologies sincere and efforts redoubled. Patience remained paramount, bolstered by memories of initial successes paving paths forward. Progress proved nonlinear, punctuated by peaks and valleys alike. Each return visit deepened the bond between humans and shadow dwellers. New rituals were introduced, blending traditions from both cultures. Artifacts exchanged carried symbolic weight, representing shared values and aspirations. Scientific advancements accelerated, fueled by collaborative research. Yet tensions occasionally flared, often stemming from misunderstandings or conflicting priorities. Each conflict served as a learning opportunity, reinforcing the importance of open dialogue and compromise. Despite setbacks, the partnership endured, growing stronger with each passing year. The Shadow Dwellers, too, evolved, adapting to their evolving relationship with humanity. Their trust, once fragile, now ran deep, rooted in mutual respect and admiration. Generations witnessed evolution unfold, witnessing transformations wrought by collaborative endeavors. Cities sprang up, blending architectural styles reflecting dual heritage. Education systems embraced curricula encompassing perspectives broadened exponentially. Artistic expressions merged influences yielding creations breathtakingly innovative. Economies intertwined, benefiting mutually through trade agreements negotiated fairly. Conflicts resolved diplomatically, guided by principles prioritizing peace over profit. Such harmony didn't manifest overnight, requiring sacrifices monumental along the way. Sacrifices worth making, proponents maintained steadfastly. Legacy crafted ensured prosperity enduring indefinitely, safeguarding futures envisioned collectively. Hope crystallized tangible, manifested daily through interactions transcending origins disparate. Unity stood testament triumphantly, defying odds stacked overwhelmingly initially. By now, humanity and shadow dwellers had become inseparable, their destinies intertwined. Joint expeditions explored neighboring star systems, uncovering wonders beyond imagination. Technologies developed collaboratively pushed boundaries once thought insurmountable. Philosophical discussions challenged conventional wisdom, prompting re-evaluations of existence itself. Through it all, the lessons of the shadow-bound planet remained etched in collective memory, a reminder of where they had been and where they could go. The journey was far from over, but the path ahead shone brightly, illuminated by the light of cooperation and understanding. Centuries hence, descendants gazed upward nostalgically, recalling tales handed down reverently. Stars twinkled familiarly, reminding listeners legacies intertwining irrevocably. Tales recounted adventures daring undertaken, friendships forged indelibly, wisdom gained immeasurably. Narratives emphasized values cherished universally, compassion, courage, commitment. Values anchoring societies flourishing vibrantly, sustained generationally. Reflections prompted introspection, inviting contemplation roles played contributing positively. Pride swelled hearts full, acknowledging impacts lasting significantly. Futures envisioned optimistically, confident foundations laid securely supporting aspirations. The legacy of the shadow dwellers lived on, woven into the fabric of human civilization. Monuments erected in their honor stood as testaments to unity achieved against all odds. Stories told around campfires echoed the same themes: resilience, adaptability, and the power of connection. Children dreamed of exploring distant worlds, inspired by ancestors who dared to reach beyond the stars. And somewhere, in the depths of space, the shadow dwellers continued their quiet watch, guardians of a universe rich with possibility. Their bond with humanity remained unbroken, a beacon guiding future generations toward horizons unknown. As civilizations expanded outward, so too did their understanding of the cosmos. The shadow dwellers' influence extended beyond cultural exchange, shaping humanity's approach to exploration. Ethical guidelines drafted in collaboration became cornerstones of interstellar policy. Resources were shared equitably, ensuring sustainability for all involved. Innovations born from partnership revolutionized industries, improving quality of life across planets. Yet challenges arose anew, testing alliances forged long ago. External threats loomed, forces indifferent to harmony, seeking dominance through conquest. United, Humanity and shadow dwellers faced these trials head-on, drawing strength from unity. Victory came not through force, but through strategy, diplomacy, and unwavering resolve. Bonds tested emerged stronger, proving resilience unmatched. Through adversity, the partnership evolved, adapting to meet changing circumstances. New allies joined the fold, enriching the tapestry of interconnected species. Diversity became a source of strength, fostering innovation and creativity. Conflicts resolved peacefully set precedents for others to follow. The shadow dwellers, once enigmatic, now stood as equals, their contributions celebrated universally. Together, they charted courses toward unexplored realms, driven by curiosity and a shared vision of coexistence. The universe expanded infinitely, yet its inhabitants remained united, bound by a common purpose. In the end, the story of the shadow dwellers transcended mere discovery. It became a parable of hope, illustrating what could be achieved when differences were embraced rather than feared. Humanity learned humility, recognizing its place within a larger cosmic web. Shadow dwellers, in turn, embraced change, stepping beyond shadows to engage with a wider universe. Together, they forged a legacy destined to endure, inspiring countless others to follow in their footsteps. As ships departed for distant galaxies, carrying ambassadors from myriad worlds, one truth remained immutable: unity, born of understanding, held the key to unlocking the universe's greatest mysteries. Subscribe now to continue exploring the wonders of the cosmos, one story at a time.